Hey, what's up, guys? I'm with Hulett.com, and I'm here with Elvis Sinosic.
Hey, it's good to be the king.
Yes. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. I'm out here in Vegas doing some training. As the people who are aware, and those of you who aren't, I'm fighting at UFC 110 in Sydney against Chris Hazeman, another Australian fighter. So I figured I'd get out of town just to get away from you know, all the things you have at home, work, home life, all that sort of stuff, just kind of get rid of the distractions. So I figured I'd head out to Thailand, do a little bit of stand-up, popped into Dallas to work a little bit of grappling, and then of course finish it off here in Las Vegas, with, you know, the MMA capital of the world. Everyone comes here, it's where all the big teams are. So I've just been doing a bit of training out here.
Where have you been doing a lot of your work since you've been out here?
I've been moving around a little bit. The two main places are Tap Out and Warrior Gym. Warrior is where I'm right now. Also popped into Extreme and Robert Drysdale and Cobra Kai along the way as well. The great thing is all the teams have a very open policy. You know, they're very helpful. I haven't met anyone with attitude. Everyone's there to learn with you, so it's been a fantastic experience.
It's something that I've noticed a trend in the recent years is that the absolute globalization of the UFC. I've heard talks of they were trying to set something up in Dubai, ended up being in Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Now they're coming down to your homeland of Australia. I think it's the first time I've ever gone that far down south, right?
That's correct, yeah. No, the UFC back in, I think it was 2003, had looked at the UK, and I think they realised back then the world wasn't quite ready. They weren't ready for the global expansion, so they held off again until just recently, I think it was 2007, where they went to Manchester. Things hit it off, and they've been slowly building. They moved across to Europe, Germany, Ireland, all that sort of stuff. And then, yeah, now finally down to Australia. We've been waiting a long time for it, so fantastic. But you can really see the UFC is really starting to spread. It's not just their pay-per-views which are getting around the world. Their shows are around the world. They're truly becoming the global MMA brand.
Yeah, that's excellent. What so I guess it'd be I was wondering about what is the fan base like down in Australia? Are you guys big UFC fans? I was recently in the Middle East for the Raw Power show, and there was most of the people that they put on a great show, but there weren't a whole lot of it was first time out there, but that whole area didn't seem horribly like MMA savvy. But I imagine it's probably a little bit different in Australia, though. What is it?
Well, I mean, we definitely have a good hardcore base. We've got a couple of good shows. You know, currently the CFC and Rise are both doing very well in Australia. They get some good attendance, some good fighters. They're bringing international talent across, as well as a plethora of other smaller shows which are out there. A lot of the kickboxing shows are putting in MMA matches. One of the things I noticed is we also do like sparring days and go to kickboxing shows, because we teach kickboxing at our gym. And when I go to the kickboxing shows, in the old days the guys would just have, you know, Muay Thai on their shirts. Now it's Muay Thai, BJJ, MMA. So just across all the combat sports, MMA is really starting to spread. To be honest, even I was surprised at the level of support the UFC got on their first show to sell out so quickly. It was absolutely amazing. Like, I knew we had a good fan base. I didn't realise it was that good.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Good for the sport, good for the country, good for the fighters. So, and hopefully all the local shows will make the most of it as well and build off this appearance.
Give them momentum. So you have been in the UFC in a while, right?
It's been about 2.5 years.
2.5?
Maybe a little bit longer since I fought in the UFC. I fought Michael Bisping.
Right.
In Manchester. It was the last time in the UFC.
Okay, cool. So what have you been doing in the meantime?
Oh, I mean, I've been looking for fights in other organisations. I fought in Cage Rage, but then they got bought out by Elite XC. Tried to get fights with Bodog, they folded. Because Elite XC bought Cage Rage, I had to go through Elite XC, and then they folded, and then I was looking at IFL and Affliction, and of course all the shows are folded. So I wasn't getting the fights I was kind of hoping for, so I kind of just sat back and focused on my gym, Sinosic Martial Arts back in Sydney. We've got a lot of fighters there, so helping some of our fighters train. Anthony Perosh, my training partners, you know, we're trying to get him back in the UFC. He's already fought there twice. We've got a couple of young up-and-comers. Currently, there's a guy, Steve Mikulev, just won a middleweight title in Australia, Australian one, and he's fighting for another one in a different organisation, so he's doing really well. I've kind of been keeping the UFC up to date with him. Plus, you know, we've got a few other fighters which are doing really well as well. So my focus has been more on the students and the fighters in our gym.
Cool. Excellent. Well, I guess anything you want to plug, or besides you haven't already touched on?
Thank you to all my sponsors. You know, it's been a fantastic opportunity to come out here, and the sponsors are of course helping.
Excellent.
Because even though you get paid to fight, it's expensive to train. I don't think a lot of people realise there's a lot of money that goes into training, the preparation before a fight. So you know, every little bit helps, and those sponsors make the difference. Particularly with myself having to travel around the world, I think, you know, it's literally cost me thousands upon thousands of dollars just to come out here, to fly out, to train, you know, train at the big gyms, you know, accommodation and getting around and all that. So thank you to all my sponsors, LoJack, Cage Fighter Australia. We've got some new sponsors, the Gun Store, Hayabusa, Gamma O, so MMA Warehouse, so all those guys who've now come on board, thank you very much for your support. You guys are making this possible, and I plan to give my best fight in the UFC coming up, and as I like to say, it's good to be the king.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it. Sinosic, the king, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And then